Hello, welcome to Hart's Happy Hour Bourbon Night. Now 2 days after Valentine's Day, but maybe Valentine's Day didn't go so great. You need something a little stronger than wine. I have your answer tonight, bourbon. All right. In just a couple minutes, I'll start chatting about bourbon. All right. All right. So if you do join, please make sure you say hello in the chat so I know you're here. If you can. We also have a selection of bourbons behind me. If there's something you'd like to hear me talk about in particular, let me know. I'll be happy to grab that bottle and taste it. There are a lot of different choices. Maybe some you can't even see back there. I know there's some you can't see. All right. Let's start with my sip of water here. Take 1 second to throw a little blast out there and let people know that we're live. All right, looks like a lot of people saw my story saying that we would be live tonight. All right. Oh, no. Oh, there it goes. All right. All right. While I'm waiting for people, I'm going to start with a drink. What do I want here? What do I want to start with? I think I'll start with a pour of Eagle Rare. One of my personal favorites from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. I'm not going to pour too much. An hour of drinking bourbon could end up really bad. So in any case, real quick, just a shout out to some of the other bourbon YouTube channels that I get a lot of my information from. Whiskey Tribe, The Whiskey Vault, Bourbon Junkies, and Mash and Drum. Those are some of my favorite people to listen to out on YouTube as far as bourbon goes. If you haven't seen any of those guys, I highly recommend you check them out. They're doing some great stuff. All right. So I'm starting with a little Eagle Rare. Again, if there's something that you're interested in back on the table behind me here, or even something that you don't see, you want to throw it out in the chat, or you can reach me by text or on Facebook if you're connected with me there. The nice thing about the day delay is that I got my new Glencairn glasses in. So, some new glasses to drink out of tonight. So the Eagle Rare, it's from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. It's a 10-year. They also have a 17-year. If you see it, get your hands on it. Let me know. Be happy to come drink some with you. Again, it's one of my favorites. See, you could see it's fairly dark, again, being 10-year. We'll talk in a couple minutes about where bourbon comes from and why. But start with this. Cheers. Good. Awesome notes of cherry. Cherry, little sweetness to it, like honey or vanilla. Delicious. Right? That's where I'm starting. If you're enjoying something while you're watching this, please let me know in the comments. That'd be great. All right. Well, let's start with some just basic bourbon talk. Bourbon in general, and a lot of misconceptions about bourbon, about where it can come from and where it can't, etc. Bourbon can come from anywhere in the United States. And it's not just Kentucky. A lot of people think that, saying, hey, it's just a Kentucky thing. That's not true. Bourbon can come from anywhere in the United States. All right, so to have bourbon on the label, United States, the mash bill. So that is the grains that the bourbon is actually made out of. So the grains that they use have to be at least 51% of them have to be corn. All right, so 51% corn. Again, that is sort of the American grain, corn. grows everywhere. So it's what the Native Americans introduced to us when we got here. And that is one of the main grains that we make bourbon out of. Well, a lot of whiskeys in the United States, but at least 51% corn, it can be called a bourbon. And then it has to go into new charred oak barrels. All right. So you only get to use those barrels once. After that, they have to be something else. The nice thing is that over in Scotland, they use used American bourbon barrels. So a lot of the Scotch producers buy their barrels from the American bourbon producers. So there is a market for those barrels. They don't just get wasted after they use them one time. Again, charred oak barrels, so they burn the inside. Burning the inside gives it a little more character. So you think about the color, those when you char it, you can think of charred wood, how it cracks a little bit. It gives the bourbon a little more of an opportunity to go out into the wood and come back, which is where it gets a lot of the flavor from while it's sitting in the rick house. So while it's sitting in there, it warms up, expands, the liquid kind of goes out into the wood, it cools off, it contracts, the liquid gets pushed back into the main barrel, and that flavor comes with it. So the flavor of the wood itself, the flavor of the char, all goes back into the liquid, giving it some of its more interesting characteristics. Different levels of char. If you get your hands on a Maker's Mark Private Select barrel, those have different staves that they use in their barrels to give all sorts of different flavors. Some interesting stuff they're doing there as well. You can also finish, just another side note, you can finish, this is one of actually become one of my favorites just because of the nose on it, is the Isaac Bowman port barrel finish. Okay, so after you make your bourbon, you can finish it in another barrel, giving it some additional flavors. Right? That's still considered bourbon. It was made as bourbon. It's finished in another barrel. That all has to be written on the label, though, by legal requirements. Has to be made to a certain proof level also. Hey, Bryce, how you doing? Yeah, the 46 is a winner. I do have the cast strength here behind me, which is right now unopened. But I'm happy to open it and give some tasting notes if you're interested. There are a lot of other selections here behind me. If there's something you want me to try, let me know. I started with some Eagle Rare. Okay. One note on Bryce, I'll give you this Dickel. It's terrible. So one thing so I do like the Glencairn glasses to drink out of. I do like that they're tapered near the top. One thing when you're nosing bourbon, though, you want to keep your mouth open. I know it's not the most attractive look, so I'm going to try to get you a good angle here. If you're nosing, typically wine, I'll do both. When I'm smelling wine, but when I'm doing hard alcohol, if you keep your mouth closed, all you're going to get is the burn of the alcohol itself. You're not really going to get a lot of the nuance going on there. So it's definitely not quite as exciting. So that's the Eagle Rare. Again, cherry, vanilla, and some of those wood notes as well. Really one of my favorites. Again, aged 10 years, so it has a little more character to it. Another thing I like to do, just to see how it changes, or if it changes, I like to add some water. was about 10 drops of water I just added to this. Again, just to be a little scientific while you're drinking it, using the eyedropper, so it's not necessary. Some people will be like 1 ice cube or very serious on being neat. But the water sometimes just opens it up a little bit, gives it, allows you to find some of the more nuanced aromas and flavors that are in there. And so that takes out, just those couple drops of water really took out a couple, lowered the sweetness down a little bit and brought out a lot more of the spice characteristics in that Eagle Rare. All right. I will talk about this Dickel briefly, but honestly, I don't like it and I'm not going to drink it. All right, so this is the George Dickel Baldwin Bond. This is the 2019 release, which is where it really got a lot of praise. Although I've heard the 2020 release is better. So I will trade this whole bottle of 2019 for a sample of a 2020 just to compare the two. All right? Yeah, this was best of the year. Last year, I guess. But it's not good. I don't know where they came up with this. I don't know who paid them to say this was the best. It's not. This is so George Dickel definitely has a reputation for being Flintstone vitamin, and this is a lot of Flintstone vitamin. So. Some of you may not have grown up with Flintstone vitamins, but they are chewable vitamins, chewable children's vitamins that you definitely taste the vitamin. So very mineral taste to them with some really fake food coloring and fake cherry flavors or fruit flavors to cover up the taste of that minerality when you're eating them. Kids loved them. I loved them when I was a kid. I, kind of eat them like candy. Probably ate way more Flintstone vitamins than anybody should have. I've been told that will blow off after a while, and you won't get as much of that. Let me try to get a fresh glass and see. I'll try it. I'll check it again, but. No, that's all I get. It's maybe a little softer than it was when I first opened this bottle, but it's still definitely there. Definitely there on the taste. Yeah, that's a no-go for me. Yeah. Tastes price in New Jersey about 55 bucks. I think I paid for this. 50 or 55 bucks. Right around there anyway. It's okay, and that's the Baldwin Bond. All right, so Baldwin Bond is guaranteed that it's 100 proof. A lot of other restrictions that go into the Baldwin Bond here. Really, 35 bucks, really? Must be nice. So weird how prices differ. Mm-hmm. New Jersey, they like to keep their prices a little artificially high. It's how the state makes some sales tax on selling them as well. Can you hear me okay? I just realized I have my microphone way off to the side over here. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Yeah, it's a Michter's in the back. Okay, you can hear me fine. That's great. Good to hear. Good to know that. All right. So it's a small batch bourbon back here. Not their hardest product to find, but not their easiest product to find either. Let's see what we think. Let's find my glasses. I'll tell you what the proof is on this. 91.4. So 91.4. All right, this is a small batch bourbon. It's got the batch number on the top there. Really does make a difference. For a long time, I was like, "Oh, what's that nonsense? Batch number? Who cares?" You really can't tell the difference between different batches. Some of them, the Elijah Craig, Elijah Craig barrel proof back here. The C's tend to be much better than the A's or B's. This is an A, I believe. This is an A batch. So they release it 3 times a year, A, B, and C. This is a A from 2019. All right. Again, C's tend to be the most popular. I don't know if they just hold the best stuff for a Christmas release. So what we think about the Michter's here. It's like a nutty sort of aroma on that one. Like that. $10 on the Elijah Craig, huh? So they're like $50 here also. Right in that same ballpark. I think that's all the 100 proof, the barrel proof stuff all comes in around $50-$60 if it's not something totally crazy. That's delightful. The Michter's really good. I like that one. Does have a little bit of it's like that peanut Cracker Jack kind of aroma to it. So caramel and nuts. Fairly similar on the palate. Maybe a little bit of more of a spice note. Solid finish, but not really a burn or anything. That's really nice. It's not one of the higher proof ones, but I lost it. Oh, I put the top back on already. Looking for the top. It's on there. Now we also have some. This is a store pick. Baldwin Bond, 1792. What else do we have here? A Filibuster. Filibuster is a Virginia distillery. Dickel we talked about already. I got some Weller Special Reserve here. I have some Poor Man's Pappy. This was so Poor Man's Pappy is a blend of a couple different whiskeys from Weller that's supposed to taste like Pappy. It doesn't. This is much better. I still don't think it's worth secondary prices, but it is much better. So if you can get this at retail or something close to retail, any of the Pappies I highly recommend. I've had the opportunity to try the 10 and the 23. They're delicious. I'll try that next. All right. We have the Legend here. Yeah, with unicorns. Legend here. This is the master distiller from Yamazaki. I want to make sure I get that right. That's the marriage of East and West. This is a bourbon, by the way. Some people think it's not because of the people who were involved with it. It's a 94 proof. All right. Pretty sure it's from Yamazaki. I'm going to go with that. Chief Blender Shinju Fyoko, close. So he came here and he made this with Fred No and at the Maker's Mark distillery. So it's basically a Maker's Mark with a Japanese twist to it, but it's made here. Of course, have the Blantons back here. It's very good. Again, I just don't understand the hype for it. It's good stuff. At $60, great buy. At $100, no, don't do that to yourself. People go crazy for this little horse on the top here. I do it for the juice in here, not for this. Okay. Of course, marketing always does play a role in everything. And then earlier I mentioned the Isaac Bowman. So the Isaac Bowman is actually, supposedly at least, Buffalo Trace, Mash Bill 2. So the same stuff that's going in the Blantons, bottled and finished in Virginia. This one actually has that port cast finish. So yeah, exactly, Bryce. That's exactly how I feel about it too. The hate is directed at a lot of the secondary market, or even the regular retail market at this point, for those guys who are really marking it up a lot. Look, unfortunately, for those of us in not state control, we end up having to buy lots of stupid stuff that we sell for no profit whatsoever. At least very little, maybe 90 cents a bottle or less, from Sazerac. Sazerac rye back here too, by the way. So from the Sazerac company, we end up buying tons of stuff just to get a little bit of this and a little bit of this and maybe a bottle or two of this. So since we had to buy all that crap to get this stuff, we have to make some money on this other stuff. I know Sazerac says, well, it's not us. We want them selling it at, normal manufacturer suggested retail price. Baloney. if that's what they really wanted, they would make more, they would produce more, they would get it out there. Um, for a couple of years, I was buying the hype of, well, who knew 10 years ago that bourbon would be so hot and there'd be a shortage of the juice and we'd have to limit it going out. Come on now. We're a few years into this mess now. Knob Creek's made some adjustments in and out of age statements and whatnot. I don't think it's hurt their business at all. They've kept their supply up. These guys could do the same. They just choose not to. This is actually probably one of my favorite bottles on the nose. I could sit and just smell this all night. I wouldn't even have to drink it. The Isaac Bowman. It's delicious stuff. Again, the Eagle Rare is one of my favorites. Where are we at here? Half hour in. Okay, I'm going to go on to this bottle pick of the 1792 here. Yeah. And some of the hate too is not directed at the Blands itself. Some of the hate is not directed at Blands. It's directed at the people who are looking for it. So, I probably have 2 or 3 guys who are in that annoying group who come in weekly at least and say, do you have Blands? Do you have Blands? Do you have Blands? Blands? Horse Blands? It's freaking annoying, dude. Like, buy something else. If you would actually buy a couple bottles of other Sazerac products, I might get a couple more of the Blands for you. Again, not guaranteeing that you would get one, but that's the way the allocated market works. I'm not going to pretend I love it. As far as those little bottles go, Bryce, give me 1 second. I will reach back there. So this is the 1792 Baldwin Bond. All right. This was a store pick. So anytime you see that yellow label, I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but you see that little yellow twister on the top there? Bananas. All right. So we should get some nice banana notes on the nose on this one. And it's right there. As soon as you put your nose in that glass, there's the banana. Almost like some people say like banana runts. I don't quite think so. I don't think it's quite as candied banana as people make it out to be. But maybe like a baked banana. So I have a great customer, Lee. Lee, shout out to you if you're watching this, maybe later on. He's provided me with a couple samples. He buys quite a bit of stuff from me. Gets me some great cigars too. So he's also the provider of the Buffalo Trace Kosher, the Poor Man's Pappy, and the Weller Special Reserve. He donated all of those to this program today. And then back probably around, I probably was around Thanksgiving because it was before I was ill for a little while. He gave me a little sample of, you probably can't see that. Anyway, Stag Junior, batch 14, 130 proof, and the 1792 Sweet Wheat, which is 91 proof. So it'd be interesting. So I have the 1792 long glass there. Interested in to put the Sweet Wheat next to it. So the Baldwin Bond is obviously 100 proof. That is the legal requirement of the Baldwin Bond. Again, that's the banana, like a banana bread. A little hot for 100 proof, but it's good. Maybe I'll try throwing a couple drops of water in that one. All right, let me see what the sweet wheat, putting the sweet wheat next to it. So the wheaters to me, no worries, James. Whenever you're here, you're here. It's great. Great to see you. So sweet wheat, high wheat is not always my. The thing is, I don't get a lot of nose. Nose is really important to me, whether it's a bourbon or wine. The nose is super important to me. So I don't get a lot of solid nose characteristics on the high wheat bourbons. Nice. Did you enjoy the Stag Junior? Stag Junior is really good. So the 1792 sweet wheat, I really enjoy the taste. I think I like it better than the Baldwin Bond, but the Baldwin Bond has a better nose. So 6 of one, half dozen of another. I don't know how to. I wouldn't be disappointed in either of these. Let's see if we put a couple drops of water, like 5 drops of water in each one. Of course, using my Kirkland water. Okay, Kirkland, Costco. Feel free to sponsor me anytime you want. I don't think they're going to sponsor me for 4 people viewing, but man, it's worth a shot, right? Everybody's got to start somewhere. Because that opened up a little bit on the nose for the getting something beyond the banana at this point. And a little more of the spice notes behind it, like a vanilla. So it's almost like a banana bread. Got a little more of the sweetness came out in the Baldwin Bond with the extra couple drops of water. All right. Yeah, that's true, right? So I'm asking for about 100 more people to join the live chats here. I'll be back on not next week. Next week's a week off, so if you're getting used to this weekly live chat, next week's a week off. I will be in sunny Florida, getting away from this cold for a little while. See, so interesting. So the 5 drops of water opened up the Baldwin Bond a little bit. It just sort of destroyed the sweet wheat. I'm getting nothing here now. So a couple of drops of water traditionally will, hello Red Wave, will open up, get you to some secondary aromas a lot of times. Just a couple drops. I don't like to get crazy with it. Although I'm not really against an ice cube occasionally in my bourbon. I'm not a strict neat guy. I'm happy to have a cocktail with bourbon as well. Love Manhattans. I love old fashions. I did not bring any ice with me into the office tonight, but I'm not against that. I'm not one of those, it has to be neat. But it does definitely help open up the nose a little bit and get you to some other characteristics in the bourbon. Okay, I'm just going to dump a couple of these here so I can have a couple glasses again. Where are we at? We're at the 40-minute mark here for our happy hour. Also, sometimes the water just softens up some of the super high proof. Like Stag Junior here. This is a sample one that I got. So it's 130 proof. So 65% alcohol. So 65% alcohol, this burns pretty good. Again, not that I mind the burn, but sometimes it's a little too much for my old stomach, and it gives me instant heartburn if I don't put a couple drops of water in it. So let's see what I think, though. So see what we think tonight. 130 proof. This is the Stag Junior. I notice I'm pretty heavy on one company here, the Buffalo Trace Company. That is probably my favorite bourbon company. Not that you can go wrong with some of the other ones, but Buffalo Trace / Sazerac. It's hot. All right, so that needs, so while it is a lovely bourbon, it is super strong. And the alcohol just sort of almost overpowers all taste. You get used to it after a couple sips, but can just go back to that couple drops of water. Hit this up with a couple drops of water. Let's see where this goes. Even the aroma probably can get beyond the alcohol smell right now. Not that the water has changed the aroma, it just allows you to find other things in there. All right, it's still hot, but can pick up a little more of the spice characteristics. A little cinnamon, a lot of cinnamon actually. Little cherry as well. So cinnamon and cherry on the back of that. So once I put a couple drops of water in it, I can pick those. I could pick those up where I couldn't before. Before I was just getting the alcohol. All right. I feel like this is not exciting to me. People go crazy for this too. I will revisit it here live while I'm tasting. If you stay tuned after the hour is up, maybe I'll stand up and see how I do live on YouTube. I'm really not drinking as much as it looks like here. All right. So the same with wine too. Give a little swirl, introduce some air into it. And again, nosing with the mouth open so that you don't get an alcohol burn. If you get too close to really high proof alcohol and you stick your nose right in that glass, you could totally burn your nostrils. You can burn all your smell senses, and you'd be useless as far as that goes until they heal, which they will heal, but So again, with the high wheat content bourbons, the nose just isn't there for me. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't pick up as much of the nose character. It tastes okay, but nothing. Like, people drive all over the country for this stuff, especially out of here in New Jersey, where it's not really available that much. It's good. It's not worth that. It's not worth that kind of aggravation. And this, so this is Poor Man's Pappy. Somebody mixed this up. This is Bill Murray on the label there. If you can't see that, people are manufacturing these labels and whatnot. So it's Poor Man's Pappy. It is the Weller and Antique, the 107, and the Weller 12. I'm pretty sure what they mixed together with a touch of water to supposedly make this. It's not even close. All right. This is really good. Anything else exciting back there that I really need to talk about? I don't think so. Let's just go for the big one. All right. Pour like a legit pour this one because it's good. All right. Again, though, retail. Look, if you pay, yeah, casual pappy. Yep. So Pappy, it's 107 proof, 10-year. They also make a 12, a 15, and a 23. If you can get these things for, come on, James, you know where I got it. If you can get these for retail or something close to retail, like you pay $100 for this, fine, it's well worth it. If you are paying $300 for this, just stop. Don't. Eventually, if they stop selling it, people will lower their price. Okay. Yeah. I really don't know what else to say about that. That's the lovely nose there. So that is, and to me, that's the Eagle Rare on steroids. You know, I love the Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare is more of an everyday sipper for me. Not that I sip every day. Not bourbon, at least. I do drink wine every day, but not bourbon. Lovely cherry notes on there. A sweet cherry. Good, a beautiful finish. That 107 proof is just like right on the nose as far as the spot. You know, it's not overly high. It's not the Stag Junior 130 proof. All right, but it's not your normal Jim Beam 80 proof. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the trip. I haven't been on a real vacation in quite some time. I'm just visiting my son mostly, and then a couple days just laying on the beach doing nothing. Hopefully get a little tan so I'm not so white on these videos when I'm doing them. And that is beautiful. So again, that's probably the top one. I shouldn't say that. for the price, I got that at a reasonable price. I do have another winner back here. Well, I have two other ones, actually. Of course, I'm not going to dump out the 10-year to Pappy. But Barrel Dovetail is a beautiful, beautiful bourbon. Actually, it's not officially bourbon. I'm not sure what the mash bill is on here. I don't think that it tells you. There's a whiskey, right? Which just means that it's not, so it's not 51% corn most likely, and it's probably not aged in new oak barrels. 6 release Dovetail, married to spirits, meticulously sourced, of course. Their origins, paths, and flavors differ greatly, but came together in this harmonious and prestigious blend. Followed a cast strength. So this is cast strength. So this is basically right out of the barrel. So they call that proofing down. So right out of the barrel. All right, the proof is on this one. It's 124 proof. Again, sort of like the Stag Junior, just a super high proof. Okay. This is finished in rum, port, and Cabernet barrels from Dunn Vineyards. This is about $60 a bottle. So again, for the price difference from the Pappy 10, that's just a lovely, especially the wine. Again, being a wine person originally before I moved into bourbon, has some of the sweetness from the rum, some of the deeper cherry, blackberry characteristics from the Cabernet barrels. And that's delicious. Again, hot. You probably want to cut this with a couple drops of water or an ice cube. Perfect. Okay. Again, I'm not ditching this. But my other new favorite lately, again, is the Isaac Bowman Port Cast. Just the aromas that are coming out of this one are just amazing. Those port smells are just tremendous. Again, so this is basically, supposedly, this, or something close to it, distilled one more time and then put into a port barrel in Virginia. Again, remember, bourbon does not have to come from Kentucky. All right. Oh, I had no idea. Where's the red wave come from? Really? If it was like under your YouTube name, I would have recognized you. Or Lilo and Bane. Any plans in Florida? You know what my plans are. Coming to see you. So those three aromas on this Isaac Bowman are amazing. Again, some of the sweetness from the port. There's an aroma there that I can't quite nail. I'm not going to try to pretend like but it's lovely. I feel like I could use this as a perfume. soft and smooth, and for $50, probably more readily available than the Blantons or the Buffalo Trace or the Eagle Rare. Probably not necessarily 100%, but if you see any of the Bowman products, I recommend them. They're doing a nice job out there. All right. So I think that sums up my bourbon tasting for 2 days after Valentine's Day. Hopefully you didn't have any breakups that you need the bourbon. Just figured it'd be a fun day to do something a little stronger than wine. I'm going to try to do happy hours a couple times, at least once a week, basically, is the goal. Monday nights from 7 to 8. If there's something you want to hear, something you want to talk about, let me know. I'm sure there's one person who would love to hear about South African wines, what my thoughts are, or Oregon. There's another person here who would love to hear me talk about Paso Robles, probably. And there's just nothing good coming out of Florida, buddy. So, all right. Again, shout out to my buddy Lee, who provided a couple of these samples for me tonight. Stick to, my ending thing on most of my shows. Hope you heart your wine as much as I do. And tonight, I hope you heart your bourbon as much as I do. Remember, the only good thing to do with vodka is to use it for hand sanitizer. Right. I will take the rest of my Pappy 10 on the road in just a couple minutes. If anybody has any other questions before I officially sign off, or if you'd like to hear something specific in the future, that'd be awesome. Thank you for the positive things that some of you have said tonight. Some of them are coming from my son, so I have to take them with a grain of salt. Hopefully this was really as informative as he says it was. I'm not sure if my friend from England was on tonight or not. I know he was trying to get on last night and but was postponed due to some staffing issues in my store. You getting some Dickel soon? All right. Well, you're gonna get the Baldwin Bond. I really recommend. I would love to know what you think if you get it. If you get the 2019 versus the 2020 release, let me know. I'd really be interested to hear what you think about that. So this is actually says distilling season fall 2005 on here. All right, so that is the 2019 release. Distilling season 2008 is the 2020 release. So if depending on which one you get, I'd really love to hear what you think. Again, that Flintstone vitamin taste just doesn't do it for me. Loved it when I was a kid, not so much anymore. I will be bringing that bottle of Bordeaux down to Florida with me to celebrate your 21st birthday. It's now 21-year-old Bordeaux. Look forward to popping that one night for dinner with you. All right. Are you willing 8? Really? All right. Interesting. That's what that says, right? 8. Hmm. Very awkward getting drinks. Why? Because you're 21 now? I spent most of my 21st birthday throwing up, and I don't really remember a whole heck of a lot of it. I do know I was at Rutgers with a lot of my fraternity brothers, and it was a wild night. One of the reasons I don't drink a lot of beer anymore. I do like a beer once in a while, though, in between this or in between the wine. It gives it a nice little break. Maybe one night we'll have some beer for happy hour. Yeah, I really think this is the winner of everything I have on the table behind me tonight, guys. I think that's the big winner. All right. If you didn't know, again, that's probably the hardest one to find. My favorite bourbon, again, I just got a chat message there. Favorite bourbon, Eagle Rare, just because it's it's easy to find. It's got the 10-year age statement on it. Dark cherry notes. It's a great sipper. Right again, but I do have different bourbons for different purposes too. So this would be my favorite sipping bourbon, just overall, all around. You know, if you ever got me a bottle of Eagle Rare as a present, I'm very happy. All right. I know some of you really enjoy this. The person who just asked me that question really enjoys that Jack Single Barrel. All right. Yeah, this is delicious, but it's a special occasion. Probably could have sold this for a couple $100 if I hadn't opened it. I don't like to do that. I don't know why people would do that. It's Isaac Bowman's a new favorite of mine. But if I'm just mixing it, Manhattan, old fashioned especially, Bullet's fine. Maker's Mark's a great starting point for a lot of people. This was not a starter's bourbon conversation tonight. If you're watching this thinking this was a place to start, it's not. Nothing here was a starter bourbon. Maybe the Eagle Rare or the 1792. Those were starter bourbons, but I would definitely start with a Bullet or a Maker's Mark. Even Wild Turkey 101, especially if you like peanuts. If you like that nutty characteristic, Wild Turkey 101 is a great place to start. I'm going to give you a little more kick than, again, the Makers or the Bullet. Still at a great value. It's a great price. And Jim Beam's still the number one selling bourbon in America as far as I know. So can't go wrong with a Jim Beam most of the time either. Cheers, Bryce. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your night. It has been an hour anyway, so really just on bonus time right now. Yeah. Yes. Stella Rosa is, soda. Exactly. It's very popular in certain groups. It's sweet and a little bit of bubbly. And the red one sort of tastes like grape soda. If you get the white, it tastes like Sprite. That's not what I want to have in a wine, personally. Okay, that was a question from sent to me online. I know that you don't see that in the chat if you're confused as to why I'm answering that question. Okay. All right. The dog is good. I have the door closed. Can't get in right now. Gave him a bath today. All right. I'm patiently waiting for mine as well. I will get my shot when it's available to me. I know domestic travel is okay without it right now, especially considering I just got over it. I'm clear for a couple months still, so. But if they make it available to you, I suggest you grab it. Near as I can tell, talk to a lot of people, there's nothing in it that's bad for you. So, unless you have some sort of weird allergic reaction, some people have allergies. Nobody in our family has allergies, so I would get it if I had the opportunity. All right. Well, they're different grapes, Malbec and Pinot Noir. So Malbecs can be a little more, I'm going to use the word chewy. Pinot Noirs are definitely lighter, softer. It kind of depends on where you get them from as well, what country, what region. Malbec from France is very different from Malbec from Argentina. I really like Malbecs from France. I like some of them from Argentina, but not all of them. Pinot Noirs tend to be very red fruit driven most cases. So you're talking about red cherries, raspberries, whereas Malbecs sometimes even have a blue fruit characteristic, like a blueberry, but at least a darker fruit. Either dark raspberries. No, I don't have a preference. It's really just a matter of more what you're eating with it. Malbecs go better with beef. Pinot Noirs, pork or chicken or lamb. There's a T on the end of Pinot, by the way, for those of you who are watching the chat there. So it really just a matter of what you're eating with it. Or if you're just sipping it by itself, doesn't matter. If I was down in the heat of Florida, I would probably say Pinot Noir, just because it's, again, tends to be a little more on the lighter side, a little more delicate, something that you can drink in the heat without a problem. Personal opinion. Well, the nice thing about pork is it's sort of in the middle, so. But Pinot Noir is probably more of the pork. Again, some of that really depends on what you're putting with it too. You're having a barbecue pork? Are you cooking it on the grill? Are you cooking it in a frying pan? Those can all change the what it goes with. But with pork, I would say in general, generic. Somebody said to me, pork, Pinot Noir. I'm not going to think twice about that. Just going to say it. My go-to bottle, which is stocking the house for when I come down, is at the. Hello. Go-to bottle. That's a good question. Excuse me while I scratch my ear. Pinot Project, Pinot Noir, bread and butter Pinot Noir. I'm bringing that one Bordeaux to the house. That's all I'm bringing with me. I'm going to see if I can find some exciting things to add to the bourbon collection while I'm down there. Go to those couple of ABC stores down in Florida. Check those out. But I'm bringing one bottle with me. I brought some cool little inflatable, basically bubble wrap that I can inflate with a hand pump. So I can travel with some bottles, put them in the plane underneath. I'm actually checking a suitcase so that I can bring that. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap this up here tonight. Been kind of went a little long on a happy hour. just because I love spending time with you guys. All right. All right. Well, we'll see what we can do about expanding the wine. When I come down there. All right. I'll run out to the store, grab some different stuff. Tell her not to buy anything. Okay. All right. Again, till next time. Hope you heart your wine, or in this case, bourbon, as much as I do. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great night.